Hey guys, this is Steve with Ular's Cove or SGH Pest Management or mostly snakes, however you want to look at it. Today I thought I'd give you the grand tour of the snake lair and kind of give you an idea what I got here and several of the setups. You may see something you like and want to model what you have after that. I don't care. Basically what we have is a whole bunch of reticulated pythons with a few other venomous stuff. Nothing major. I do live in Alabama, so it is illegal for me to have anything that is not indigenous to this area. So I'm pretty much limited to the timber rattlesnakes, the cottonmouth, the copperhead. But my true passion is the reticulated python. That is probably the most intelligent of any snake, and I tell you, each one of them has a different personality, which I kind of really thoroughly enjoy that. But we'll get started over here. What we have here is our cottonmouth setup. I'm sorry, copperhead. Basically, anything with a skull in it is going to be your don't touch. They're the danger noodles. As you can see, little Kathy is in here. Nice and nestled in her heat rock there. She is probably a year old, and she is captive bred and pretty docile. She's really not that snippy, but none of the copperheads are. Now in the back here, I don't know if you can see her. She's back behind the log. May have to move some things here. There she is, inside the log. I'm not going to probe around too much with her. She is a little testy, and with these snakes, you absolutely have to respect them. This is my rattlesnake cage, and she's really fired up, so we're not going to mess with her. This guy here, this is one of the breeders that I have. He is a platinum reticulated python. Beautiful snake, but I'm here to tell you, all he wants to do is breed. Very good breeder. He is proven. But he's a little aggressive come breeding season, which most of your males get that way anyway. Underneath him, we have Giselle. She is a genetic stripe reticulated python. She's in shed right now, so she looks very bland and dull. When she does shed, I mean, it is amazing, her colors. Underneath her, we have little Phoebe. She is an absolute sweetheart. Another platinum reticulated python. Basically, if you breed the platinum to the platinum, you get an ivory, which I will show you here in a minute. And actually have a buddy of mine that just got some ultra ivies out of it. Now, if you can see on the top, I use Pro Products Radiant Heat Panels. And I'll tell you the reason why I went with those. They are a little bit higher, but I'm here to tell you they are top quality merchandise. I do have a Reptile Basics up there. This is one of my... I had about 7 or 8 of those. I had 3 of them that melted on me. The Reptile Basics heat panels are not UL rated. The same thing with your VE thermostats. They are not UL rated, which means if something were to happen and you have a fire and they have pinpointed it to where that right there or that right there is at fault, guess what? Your insurance company is not going to pay out because they have not been UL approved. So think about that when you're setting up, and you definitely want to keep that into consideration for the simple fact that, one, you want to make sure you have what's best for your animals, but two, hey, use a little bit of common sense. You don't want something that's going to burn your house up, I promise you. And there are people that have had Reptile Basics stuff for a very long time, never had any trouble. I personally have had trouble with 3, so you can either take my word for it or do whatever you want. But when it comes down to actual UL rated, those right there are UL rated. They're guaranteed for life. I do not get paid by Pro Products. I just think they are an incredible product. Now, in here, we have another one of my males. This is Liam. He is a lavender reticulated. Super gentle, good snake. Doesn't matter what you do around him. He's just got a really good temperament. Below him, we have Garrus, which is a golden child tiger. When I first got him, he was a little aggressive, but he's really started to calm down and proved out to be a really good snake. Now, below him, we have Takara. Takara is a 3-year-old purple tiger reticulated python. There's actually a story behind her. When I first got her, I had her in this enclosure. Could not get near that girl. She would strike at the glass. If I did manage to get her out, which I did once a week, she would just coil up and try her darndest to get a hold of me. So I took her out of that and placed her in one of those. Those are rack systems from TGR Rack Systems out of Vinemont, Alabama. Again, I am not a paid spokesperson, so I'm just going to tell you what I use. I've been raising snakes since 1994. So I've gone through all of the setups. I've gone through glass aquariums back when it was cool to keep those. Basically, as long as you monitor your environment for the snakes, it's going to be all right. There's going to be the haters out there that hate the aquariums, but hey, if that's all you can get, go with it. But just make sure you keep a check on your humidity and your temperatures. You will notice the thermostats that I have the most of. Now here's the kicker. Here's where all the haters are going to just get fired up. These are $17 off of Amazon. Okay? All it is an Apollo heat mat thermostat that people use in agriculture. Set them up. You got you can't really see it, the probe right in there. It monitors the heat and turns on and off the radiant heat panel. Now, this temperature is not precise. Okay? You have to monitor that as well. But $17, they are UL rated. This one right here is the first one I got, and that was probably 6 years ago. And I tell you what, I've never had any trouble. That wasn't an easy fix. My power blinked out one time and I came down. I believe it was this one. But it just read out 0. So all I had to do was unplug it and plug it back in. It was all good. Still working to this day. You do have to keep a check on them, but if you're going to be a successful snake breeder or enthusiast, you're going to have to check on them anyway. So what difference does it make? As I was stating, those over there, $17, $100, not UL rated. Will burn the house down, maybe. I say that, I'm telling you, I have a beef with Reptile Basics selling these, and I almost lost a whole bunch of my life because of them. So I do have a little bit of hatred towards them. Anyway, getting back to the snakes themselves, we've already introduced to Phoebe, platinum female. Down here we have Yumi. You can't really get a good look at her, but she is a yellowhead sunfire. She's probably 3 years old, and she's going to be one of my breeders this fall. Not sure what one of the gentlemen I'm going to put her with. I'm thinking Garrus might get some action here in a few months. Anyway, getting back to the snakes. On this side, these are, this is actually a custom built from a local guy. Not really fond of his work. As you can tell, a little bit of issues with the actual craftsmanship of these. For one, it's a single track system for the glass. Now what happens is when your humidity gets up like this, your glass wants to stick together. So that makes it harder to open them up. They won't go all the way. So that creates an issue. The difference between them, if you look at the animal plastics, you'll notice that there is actually 2 track systems, one for each pane of glass. That creates a little barrier right there, which acts as air circulation, and it keeps the glass from sticking together when your humidity is high. One other thing I do want to point out, you notice these thermostats back here, those are real old. They are not accurate in the least bit as far as temperature. Humidity, they appear to be somewhat accurate. There is about a 7 or 8 degree difference in that one. Same thing with the thermostats, which leads me to think and to actually inform you that these are a must. Okay? You gotta have one of these to accurately monitor your temperatures and make sure that everything is on tap. I believe I got this one off of Amazon. I believe it was like $15, $20. Again, not that bad. You can go more expensive, but if it does the job, what's the point of spending that extra money? All right, coming over here, we have Lucina. Lucina is a lavender golden child. She is about 16 feet, and she has spilled her water. So guess what? My humidity is pretty good right now, although her temperature is not going to be that good. Now, super good snake. I just had her outside for a little bit. Very gentle and just overall excellent disposition. Now we come to the bins. Now here's another fighting point for a lot of people. They say, "Why? How could you put a small a snake in a drawer that small? That's pitiful. That's very sad for the animal." What they don't realize is these animals are ambush predators. In the wild, if they're not feeding, where are they? They're cramped up. Take your venomous. They're going to be crammed underneath a rock in a tight space. The tighter the space is for them, the more secure they feel. Getting back to Takara, after I put her in a bin, I had her in a bin for about 6 months. The most gentlest snake. I could reach right in and grab her. She has not yet offered to strike me after she spent some time in the bin. She felt more secure. So it changed her whole attitude. Now, with these snakes, you will see many different sizes of bins that come along with many different sizes of snakes. Typically, anything less than, you can get up to 4 or 5 feet in the smalls. Anything above 4 feet will go into they're called CB70s. Excuse me. And then you get your CB90s. Now, these are excellent bins for anything anywhere from 9, 10 feet or below. And you're thinking, how in the world would you put a 9-foot snake in these bins? It's actually much, much easier to get them in. This is Odessa. I forgot her name for a second. She is actually an orange glow tiger. Again, super snake. I try to handle my snakes as often as possible. None of them go more than 4 or 5 days without being handled. So it just keeps them on the good side and it keeps them easy to work with. Below Odessa, we have Penelope. Penelope is a female pied retic, as you can tell by the white markings on the base. She's a little testy. She's never really offered to bite. She's gotten into the pose a few times, but she's never actually went through with it. She's just a little bit twitchy right now. But all in all, another great snake. Below Penelope, we have Telephus. Telephus is a titanium super tiger retic. Absolutely one of the funniest snakes that I have owned. He has got his very own personality, which I thoroughly enjoy. And overall, just a perfect snake. He likes to come out and play a little bit, but below him we have Ivan. This is your ivory reticulated python. This is what you get when you breed the 2 platinum reticulated pythons. Don't ask me how. I have no idea how that works. The genetics is something that you pretty much are constantly learning. And just when you think you got it all figured out, something's going to change and just throw a wrench in it. Up here on the top, we have Gabrielle. She is by far my most favorite snake ever. She has got such a great personality. Very easy to work with. I purchased several snakes from Motionless Retics, a gentleman named Mark up near Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I swear every one of his babies that I got have been the absolute best snakes. Personality-wise, temperament-wise, feeding-wise. Never had a problem with feed. They never rejected a meal. No, you can't come out, sweetheart. But just great snakes. Now, she's going to do her best. She wants to come out and play. She does like to come out and get around my shoulders and just hang out with me. So for the most part, she's kind of a pain in the butt to get back in. So we got to manipulate her a little bit and try not to get her nose caught. Okay, she was a golden child. Now underneath her is one of her brothers, I believe. This is Panzer. He is a purple golden child. They got that name from the purple coloration in between those blotches there. Again, one of Mark's from Motionless Retics. Awesome snake. Great personality, everything. This next snake is called Sophia. She is a super tiger. She was actually a rescue. Beautiful markings. I see I got to clean her too. Word to the wisdom, whenever you clean a reticulated python's cage out, most of the time, as soon as you put them back in, they're going to go ahead and mess it up again. So I apologize for what appears to be a dirty enclosure, but she will be cleaned out. She was, again, I say she was purchased as a, just trying to get her into a better environment. She had respiratory infection real bad. She was covered in mites. So I felt the need to go ahead and rescue her. Series of shots over a matter of 2 weeks and a lot of mite treatment. And we got her back on track. This next dude, you got to kind of watch him. This is Gordius. He is a Sunfire genetic stripe retic. This is probably one of, I think, 2 that possibly got a hold of me. I'm not sure if I got rid of that other one or not. He got a hold of my hand one day, and it was completely my fault. I learned a valuable lesson that day on feeding bigger snakes with small grabbers and right over top of them. That was another mistake. He came up to get the rat. He missed the rat. He got my hand. So, lesson learned. I have yet to feed them with short tongs since. This is Svetlana, another super tiger, like the rescue, a little bit younger. She is actually very, very flighty. It appears that these super tigers, I may be wrong in this, but they do have somewhat of a more energetic personality. So, you know, we got to be real careful when they handle them. This little girl, by far, the funniest of all of my snakes. She is a younger one, and she is a motley golden child. Check out the iridescence on this one. Absolutely phenomenal. Believe it was Grant Gray that I got here from. And again, awesome snake. She's very inquisitive. Getting back to motionless reticks snakes that I got. This is another one of his. This is Cetera. She is a Sunfire Motley retic. Beautiful colors. Personality is fantastic. Never shown a sign of aggression. They're all eating very well. Now the last of Mark's babies is Sheila. Sheila is a Sunfire. No, another one that just never gives me problems. She'll be a year old here pretty soon. She's about 5 feet. Now, the reason I skipped that one bin, all of these different colorations of all these retics were derived from the normal reticulated python. This is the color pattern on a normal retic. They have been genetically altered by process of breeding. There are several breeders out there that have come up with some of the craziest color combinations, and all in all, just fantastic snakes. Now, these are empty for a reason. This fall, we're going to get into our breeding season. Excuse me again. So I've left those empty in order to have a place for some of the hatchlings. I still have quite a bit to do as far as getting prepared for that. Okay, so getting towards the end of the tour, you can see that I have several different housing options and, of course, seating options. You got to have good, comfortable seats in the snake room. Just come down here, relax, chill, watch the snakes. Nothing better. These are actually two that I have recently picked up. These are vision cages, and as a matter of fact, I do not have them fully set up yet. I'm waiting on the heat panels to come from New York. And once they come in, we'll go ahead and get them set up. And I'm going to be putting my females, my big breeders, Lucina and Yumi, in these two here. I did have to modify, and if you are a big Vision fan, go ahead and turn your head now. I have to modify these enclosures, which means cutting out the light hood. The reason for that is when you use the radiant heat panels, I have to mount them on the top. Now, ideally, if I could mount them on one side, you have your temperature gradient, where you have a hot side and you have a cooler side where they can self-regulate their body temperature. So with these, having that light hood in the way, I had to go ahead and cut that out. Now, the big hole, of course, is going to be covered up by the heat panel, but that is going to give me my temperature gradient. I love the Vision cages. I think they're outstanding. However, they are incredibly pricey. You're looking at a solid one-piece molded tank, no seams at all. Excellent. But if they were to just put some thought into possibly not doing both ends with the light hood, and I'll show you what I mean because I haven't done this one yet. There's one, and then there's the other. So your only option for a heat panel is in the center. It does not offer your separate areas for heat and cool. So with all that said, we'll go ahead and show you one more thing. This is actually something that most people don't like to see, but this is my food freezer. As you can see here, we have everything from small rats, from Perfect Prey. Excellent packaging, excellent customer service. Cannot go wrong with Perfect Prey. We did have an issue here just recently with not having the colossal sized rodents that I needed. So I had to go with Rodent Pro. You can see the difference in packaging. These are vacuum packed, set up nice and neat, easy to get out, as opposed to just in a Ziploc bag and just thrown all in together. So there's one of the difference between Rodent Pro and Perfect Prey. Don't mind, now a true snake man, I'll go ahead and tell you, you have your rats along with dinner sitting on top of them. Oh, you gotta love that. This is my freezer for the colossals. As you can see, monster size rats. Okay, these are for my big females and my big male, getting their weight up to breeding status. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and close this up. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you learned something. If there is any possible question that you may have, I don't know the answers to all of them. I do not say that I am a professional. I am a hobbyist. I am an enthusiast. With that stated, I'm also learning every single day. The thing I can't stand is for people to jump all over somebody who's asking a question, trying to gain their knowledge, but they feel like they have to slam this person because they don't know what they're talking about. What do you think this is? I mean, we're here to help educate everybody else. Like I said, I've been raising snakes since 1994. The gray hair, yeah. But if somebody's just coming into the hobby, we are supposed to take them under our wings and improve their method of raising them. If they are doing mistakes, say, you might want to do something a little different here. This is why you want to do something a little different, and help them along. Don't be a jackass and try to act like you're all bar none from everybody else. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't know all the answers. I don't know the best situation. Maybe I'm making a huge mistake right now, but you know what? In the years and years that I have been raising a snake, I have lost one snake. That was a phantom tiger, and I lost it to impaction. It ate. The rat got lodged up in its intestines. It never could pass it. I've tried all the remedies that everybody recommended. I still lost the snake. One snake in the last 24 years. Maybe I'm doing something right. Okay, with that said, I'll get up tomorrow morning and half my litter here will be dead. But we're not gonna do that. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Like I said, if you learned something, great. If you see a mistake I'm making, hey, I take corrective criticism like a champ. If you see that I'm doing something wrong, point it out. But make sure you have substantial reasoning as to why that's wrong. If you don't have any reasoning, I just got to base it on, well, that's your opinion. But if you tell me, hey, look, this happens and this happens when you do it this way. If you try it this way, it's going to avoid that problem. I will listen, and I will change it up. I'm learning too. Doesn't matter. As snake hobbyists or enthusiasts, the key is always learn. Always, always, always learn something. be able to take corrective criticism from your fellow keepers and use it to your advantage. Eventually, hell, 30 years from now, I still won't know everything because shit changes all the time. All right. Oh, and before I go, this is a net tent from Amazon. It cost me $20 to my door. When I have to clean this son of a gun right here, which I'm going to have to here in a little bit, I yank him out, put him in that little tent. I can clean away and not worry about where is he, what is he getting into, what is he knocking over, is he going to get into some place where I can't get to him? No, that right there, boom, avoids all that. Good investment. $20, can't go wrong. Now, I will say that you do have to watch them, keep a close eye on them, because they do like to rub when they get up to the edges. Some of them rub more than others, so you want to make sure you don't put a lot of time in there. Just a couple of minutes might be suitable, but that's plenty of time to clean their cage, which, guess what I have to do after this video? I have to soak up a bunch of water that dipshit there has spilled in her tank. So, again, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If I'm doing something wrong, tell me. Anything else, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to help you. If I don't know the answer to it, I'll find somebody who does. I got a lot of friends in this community, so, hey, hit me up. Thank you for watching. Again, we got Ular's Cove, which is, a lot of people say, where did you get that? Reticulated pythons come from Indonesia or Southeast Asia. Ular is Indonesian for snake, so it's actually Snake's Cove, if that makes any sense. Okay, as far as the names of the snakes, you'll notice all of the snakes' names begin with the same letter as their color morph. Okay? Not to mention that all of their names, with the exception of a few, are Greek. The few exception is this one right here. Yumi is actually Japanese for beautiful. Could not find a name in the Greek mythology that started with Y because they didn't have Y. So, believe it or not, Lucina is from Greek mythology for a lavender golden child retake. Okay, that's going to sum up the tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. We're going to start getting a lot more of these videos on here and try to help people that are wanting to learn something. You know, if you want to model the way you stack your racks, or if you have any questions where I got any of my stuff, be glad to help you out. Mostly Snakes YouTube. I'm on Facebook as Mostly Snakes. I'm on Instagram as Mostly Snakes. Instagram is where I post all my pictures of my snakes. I try to do it pretty regularly. I think I have about 13 or 1,400 pictures. Various different scenarios in which to get pictures of them. I'm kind of a fanatic about that. Feel free to subscribe to any of those. Send me a friend request. Do whatever you want to do. If you don't like me, go to hell away. Just go somewhere else. You don't need to tell me that you don't like me. I don't give a shit. All right. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.